Hey, Eric, and any potential employees of behavior who might be seeing this. I know this question you asked was directed at Hen specifically, or his post about his concerns for 2v8 and killer cues. But I really wanted to jump in and chime in with an in depth idea I have for a new mechanic as someone who is both extremely passionate about Survivor and 2v8. This is a game mode that I have been begging to have for years, and I'm nothing short of excited to see more and more iterations of it. I cannot stress enough how much I love and adore 2v8. So, if I have an opportunity to help it grow and evolve, I'd love to shoot my shot here. From its first introduction, I've had a plethora of ideas to get the community to want to play Survivor in this mode. So I do apologize for this video response, but a simple reply tweet would not do it justice. The first thing that I want to address is killer queues and why they were very long. It's really simple because not enough people are queuing Survivor despite a crazy blood point incentive. But why though? To be quite frank, I did like Survivor in 2v8, but that's because I just love anything Survivor related. But I understand why so many others weren't super crazy about it and opted not to queue the role. Overall, Killers got the better end of the deal when it comes to 2v8 content because they got something brand new that we've never seen in the game before. Killers got a whole teammate. Meanwhile, Survivors didn't really get anything new. Sure, there's classes, but classes essentially are just predetermined perk builds. And by the way, I'm not criticizing classes. I think they are neat and a great design choice for the developers to keep things simple on their end, but nothing too crazy. And sure, when you queue up Survivor, you get 7 teammates. But again, not as crazy as a killer getting a teammate because the concept of teammates isn't a brand new feature for survivors. In fact, if we really take a closer look, the first iteration of 2v8 really just took a lot of things away from the survivor role. While I enjoy the thrill of having to survive 2 killers at the same time, essentially for a lot of people, matches were just 5-second chases into Generator Simulator until you escaped. And yeah, generators in this mode fly by so fast, it's the only thing you're really encouraged to do. And this is the problem about the Survivor role in 2v8. There are so many people who love playing Survivor and DBD for killer interaction, such as interactive chases, sabo plays, flashbangs, flashlights, and pallet and locker stun saves. And you really couldn't do any of that in the first iteration of 2v8. I understand that with this upcoming iteration with the killer pickup changes, I know that pickup saves will be possible now, and this may improve the experience. But going back to my original point, this still isn't going to be something brand new for Survivor. This is why I propose we add a brand new mechanic that allows a new kind of interaction between Survivor and killers, which is allowing survivors to physically fight back against killers. Now, hold on, before I lose you. No, I am not suggesting we kill the killer like this is Friday the 13th and I unmask Jason Voorhees, though I'm sure some people would like that. Nor am I suggesting any type of mechanic that can permanently stun a killer over and over like this is the launch of TCM. But as someone who has been playing all sorts of asymmetrical games, one of my favorite aspects of other ASIMs was the survivor's ability to directly interact with the killer in a more aggressive and silly way. Now, DBD at its 1v4 core game mode is designed in a way where we could never have this type of survivor and killer interaction. But with 2v8, I think there is real potential to have survivor items that are exclusive to this mode that allow survivors to have more interesting chase dynamics, especially for those chaotic moments where there are 2 killers in the same chase with a group of survivors. I do recognize that a feature like this may require a reconsideration on how fast generators should be, but that's the beauty of testing, right? Now, here's how I would go about adding this mechanic in the game of 2v8. Do you guys remember this person by chance? This is Trix, a powerful character introduced to us in the latest anniversary event. Some of you guys got so annoyed with her because of her nonstop taunting and babbling or what have you. But remember, she loves to party and she has some incredible power over the realm of the entity. How cool would it be to pay homage to her again by introducing a new side objective called Trix Workstations? At these stations, Trix left behind little fun schematics for people to follow and craft items of her design with skill and, I don't know, magic. I'm still workshopping it. Don't hold it against me. Anyways, these stations, probably four in total, would be scattered throughout the map. The survivor would walk up to these stations, have a pop up, similar to how you get a pop up when you're trying to disarm a drone against a skull merchant. And you would be able to put an input response to specify which item you'd like to craft. After specifying the item, survivors would then begin to magically craft and be met with a series of skill checks. After the crafting is complete, whatever the survivor had crafted will automatically be held by the survivor as a special item. It is fundamentally important to have this feature be something that is accessible during the whole game, allowing survivors to make and use as many items as they want, however, have a trade off of taking time away from generators. So, in a way, these workstations act as a natural gen slowdown. I personally would also make it where killers can damage workstations, so survivors have to repair them to use them again, though repairing a workstation would not take nearly as long as repairing a generator would. Now, here are some examples of items that a survivor could create in 2v8 mode. Number one, firecrackers. We all are familiar with them. Party bombs. Now, these would be smoke bombs that were basically like the Halloween ones, except they last for 3 seconds and are just prettier. I don't know. My third suggested item is called an explodey bat. So basically, this is a baseball bat where you press the use item button when next to a killer to swing. If you connect with the hitbox, the killer is stunned for 2 seconds and the bat explodes into glitter on impact. However, if you miss, the bat explodes regardless, hindering you by 10% for 2 seconds. Now, this next item I'm going to suggest is actually inspired by an item in Phasmophobia. This item is called Entity's Dice. It has two uses. You roll a pair of six-sided dice for a random effect. Now, these effects can go from giving a survivor haste to getting very unlucky and teleporting you right in front of the killer. It's basically like a fun little gambling device. My last suggestion for this list is explodey traps. These are traps that survivors can place either on the ground, window, or pallets, and killers who interact with these traps are hindered for 3 seconds. However, the survivor can also get hindered if they step in their own traps. Like I said, I do have an entire list of possible items, but if I sat here and suggested all sorts of items survivors could craft, I would keep you guys here all day. But these are just some examples. I think having items like these would make killer and survivor interaction very fun, even if you were unlucky enough to have both killers on you at the same time. And by making these items something that you have to actively craft and not loot, it makes it where killers aren't harshly punished by generators while simultaneously having a bunch of crazy items in play. Anyways, I do recognize a mechanic like this is completely brand new for DBD, and introducing something like this would be a lot of time and effort. But I truly think it's worth a shot. The game is nearly reaching a decade for how long it's been out. This community deserves to have the envelope be pushed more in having outside the box ideas when it comes to new modes. I also think we're at a point where we could even consider the possibility of having modes where generators no longer exist and we have a brand new objective entirely, but that's a video for another day. I'm getting off topic here. Anyways, if you survived my yapping and pleading my case this long, I truly appreciate you. I mean, I really do. Even if my idea is too far out there, I really hope at the end of the day, at least my message about survivors needing something to have brand new and unique for 2v8 mode gets across. I think if you introduce something fun and completely different from normal DBD, you can get a lot of people wanting to play Survivor again. I want this mode to succeed, and I want both sides to be satisfied and happy so that the queues are happy. This was just my idea of getting people to want to play Survivor as someone who loves playing Survivor herself. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I will be streaming 2v8 nearly every day. See you all again soon. Bye!